You are live.
Okay, welcome to the Georgia County Health Department Board Trustee meeting, September 23rd, 2024. We have two separate meetings. Our first meeting is going to be setting the tax rate, and then our second meeting is the technical meeting that we normally have each month. So I would like to call the meeting to order, and we have a roll call.
Mr. Page? Dr. Henry?
Yes.
Mr. Deal?
Here.
Sit on?
Here.
Ms. Taylor?
Here. Ms. Stone, would you read the mission? The mission of the Georgia County Health Department promote positive health outcomes through delivery of foundational public health services. Vision is a healthy Jefferson County. Purpose of the health center, RSMO 250.050. The JCHD is established, maintained, and operated for the improvement of health of all inhabitants of Jefferson. Thank you. So the next is the approval of the agenda. Have an approval? A motion to approve, I guess.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second? Second. The first and a second. Can we have a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, welcome to the guests. We have guests at the newspaper and then some employees, so welcome. Next is public comment pursuant to resolution 051501. Do we have any public comments? Yes, we have. Any old business? There is no old business. Any new, and the new business is setting the 2024 tax rate. Does this need a roll call vote?
Yes.
Okay, so we will, the tax rate has not changed from last year. The assessed valuation will be 10.03 cents. Once again, this is set by the state. We are just approving. It's just a motion of approving it. So can I get a motion to set the tax rate 2024 to 10.03?
Motion that we set the tax rate. With the 10.03 cents. Right.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you. Have a first and a second. Can we take a roll call vote?
Dr. Henry?
Yes.
Mr. Deal?
Yes.
Ms. Sit
Yes.
Ms. Taylor? Yes.
We have, so it passes. I guess there's 4 to 4, so it passes. And then I need a motion to adjourn the tax rate meeting. Maybe a motion.
I move to adjourn the tax rate meeting.
Okay, second. Favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. All right. Then we'll move on to our next. That's the only one that you need to see. All right. Move on to the monthly meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have a roll call vote.
Mr. Page? Dr. Henry?
Yes.
Ms. Sit Yes. Mr. Deal?
Here.
Ms. Taylor? Yes.
We already read the mission, vision, and purpose, so we passed that. I'd like to call it to order, so we need approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as written? Have a first or a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, welcome to guests. We don't have anyone, so we move on to the approval of minutes and expenditures. So can I have an approval for the August 22, 2024 meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion that we approve August 22nd meeting minutes.
Can I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? We were all present. Well, that is passed. All right, approval of the August 2024 expenditures in the amount of $110,372.87. Can I get a motion of approval?
I move to approve the August 2024 expenditures.
Can I get a second?
In that amount.
Second. First and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, moving on to the approval of the August 2024 electronic payments in the amount of $507,662.37. They get a motion.
Make a motion that we, accept the five payments for August 2024.
Valerie, do I have a second? The electronic payments?
Second.
We'll do Dennis. Second. We have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, finally, we're gonna make the pre-approval of the October 2024 electronic payments in the amount of $647,348.08. Can I get a motion to approve?
Second.
All right, I've got a first and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? And that's moved. That's passed. All right, move along to the public health report, director's report. Site?
Okay, just a few things. First thing I wanted to discuss was our, the gap analysis that we've been working on for a few months. This project is sponsored by the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services in conjunction with the University of Missouri. And they are asking each health department to work on this gap analysis. And they're using it to see how the funding, state funding lacks or does not lack, how it fits in with health departments fulfilling the foundational public health services. So Kristen has taken that task on, spearheading it within our agency, along with the administrative staff, and we've met a handful of times.
3 times.
And going through this gap analysis. And then Kristen has done the majority of the work. And I believe it has been completed and submitted to them. So the goal, I think, is they'll compile the data from all the health departments just to see where there is a lack of funding to help meet these foundational public health services. So hopefully this will help provide more funding. We'll see what direct effect it'll have on our health department. It did show us a few things that we're gonna look at internally, where we may be able to make some adjustments. But anything else you want to add, Kristen, about the project?
I think you did a great job.
And so, anyway, that's another project that we have completed.
So if the funding, they're asking about funding that's separate from the tax funding, that would be federal funding, or where would that funding that they're asking about?
Well, I think it could be through, there may be, I don't know if there's, like, the federal government is also doing this or not. This is within Missouri, but I think it would be, how they can ask for more funding from the federal aspect, or is there more funding that they could move around into, move into more specific areas? So, or just go to our Congress here in Missouri and ask for more funding. Restrict with tax rates.
I just say, almost all of the funds that the state funds to local health departments is federal money. Very little of it is actually state funds. And so as Steve said, I don't know if this might, result in getting more federal money, more state money. But one thing I'd like to point out to folks is that the funding that the state has historically provided in payment for this public health contract doesn't come close to paying for the things that we're required to do by the contract. So that's where our mill tax comes in, that's where our potentially grant funds, things like that come in, because the state does not cover the things they require us to do.
Yeah, Missouri is one of the lowest funded when it comes to public health in the nation. So. Now, whether or not this will bring any more funding, it'll show where there's a lack, but I don't know if it'll actually generate any more funding. But it's,
This, data that's, going to be provided, is it going to also identify discrepancies and disparities within the communities, so you can pinpoint those areas better to get the funding? Which ones need the funding more, or just overall health department?
I don't. Go ahead.
Equity was part of that.
But it wasn't real specific, was it?
It had a part in the play. And we had to answer whether or not we felt we were at full capacity or if we were minimally, where we lived in that. So it was just each health department evaluating their own situation.
In order to provide the community services that
The state
are
designed us to
needed
do.
at
Yes.
a given time.
Yeah.
Couple other things, 3 employees, including myself, we attended the annual SEMA conference, which is the State Emergency Management Conference in Columbia. That's something we try to attend regularly. There was some really good breakout sessions there. Also, the governor was there talking, the lieutenant governor, and the former FEMA director also spoke at the event. So it was well attended. It was very informative. I put down a few of the sessions that were highlighted at this conference. We have a pretty active, one of the more active public health response, emergency response groups here. Gina's heads that program up, her and Anne Marie. So that was a really good conference. Then again, I did this report. You guys have attended the joint public health conference. I did the report before you went, but Valerie also got to go to that conference in Columbia. From what I heard, it was a good conference, but the highlight was that they had to evacuate the building due to a bomb threat. So they didn't get to complete the whole conference. But yeah. So did you enjoy the conference?
Yeah, I really did. I got to attend 2 sessions on Wednesday. And actually 2 sessions on Thursday. I was in my 3rd session when the bomb threat occurred, so it was very informative. I learned a lot, glad I was able to go. And mentally brought back a lot of things that we were discussing with other health departments. And I think the highlight for me was the one session about what trustees are supposed to do with their contribution for other women. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you went. That also helped us to get some more funding from the state by our board member attending that. Wow, so. Yeah. Some ongoing projects, I keep talking about the job descriptions and we're working on that. The compensation study is a big one I want to discuss here. We did meet with the personnel committee, Amber and Dennis, and Jetty and I and Kristen, and we went over our proposal of that. And from what I understand, Amber and Dennis would like to have some input from the whole board in a work session type meeting. And most likely that meeting, from what I understand, will need to be an open meeting. So if that's okay with the committee, do you still want to proceed with that workshop? Okay. So we'd have to post it just like a regular
Right.
meeting. We wouldn't necessarily have to televise or,
You wouldn't have necessarily have to stream it, but you can also have it, if you want to get it in before the next meeting, you can have it as a special meeting.
or special meeting, I guess we just call it that. We were looking at the date of October 2nd. Because that's the date we'd also like to have our visit over to the building. So we can just do it all one day, that works for everybody. I think Jay sent out doodle, as I say, doodle poll. So we'll send out some more information on that. Just some more input. It's a very involved compensation study. If you all want to speak on exactly what you're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some recommendations, but there's a lot more to it than we felt that two members of the board should be making the decisions on. So we think it would be best if we met together, looked over all the data, and had some agreement on decisions.
I think the staff did a great job with it. And we did have two different, professional companies working on it. But it is complicated. There's history there. So I agree with Amber that we would have everybody put on it.
And thank you, Kristen, for all the work you put into it. It was a massive job. And I know there were a lot of others that were in it, but there was a lot of she did. So it's, there's a lot of information. It was done very well.
Yeah, there was a lot of things we had to do before we could even get to that part, and that was, I know Brianne was involved heavily too on the job descriptions and making sure that they were, when they went out, the third party went out and looked for other jobs that were equal to what we were doing. We had to be all the managers had to look at those descriptions and say, yes, that looks like it matches what we're wanting this job to do. So we feel like that getting that third party vendor, that's an outside of our agency set of eyes looking at this, not just us doing it internally. So we'll get some information out to you all and have that. Let's just go ahead and say that's when we're going to do October 2nd. Try to figure out the best timing for that.
We're looking at having a tour first and then come back.
So that whole day. Mostly the whole day.
Well, the tour, we want to try to do it. It's going to be later in the evening because,
Oh, this is gonna be an afternoon.
yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I can go, the tour, we like to do it around 3 o'clock because they'll have people that are working and they're done about 2:30, 4 to 3. So we could be there and not interfere with the work. And it'd be safer for us to be there as well. We're not moving equipment around. But you'll probably still get to wear a hard hat. No, that's important. But yeah, we'll walk through that. They'll probably have drywall. I don't know. I'll get my. We're looking at there could possibly be some changes to the exempt status, salary threshold coming January. So with that, we've been kind of working on positions to see if there should be salary or not, based on, it's not just the salary, but it's based on the job description and there's measurements that we do. So there could be some changes with some of the positions on that. A lot of those would probably actually benefit the employee as far as what we're looking at.
And it
They
is coming
will.
in January, or we don't know for sure.
Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
that part of it's not been put on hold, so the increase of the threshold is going to happen.
Another thing that we're working on is the policy and procedures updates. We're starting to move through that. I don't know when's our next meeting on.
In October.
Okay. A lot of these, we do as a group. We've been working like on HIPAA, we do that as a group, the risk analysis we did. somewhat on it as a group, the policy procedures will work as the admin group, since we talked, discuss this, but once we get our updates, we will submit that for review to the personnel committee, I assume, then go to the general board for approval on that. Well, I guess Chris would have to look at it as well. Okay, that's my director's report.
Community services report.
So in your community services report, I just wanted to highlight one of our, programs. That is our new scan for the score. It's really an update of an old program. So food facilities, you may notice a very old blue and white QR code, from the health department on it. It actually went to our older inspection software. We've got a new one for the last few years now. So starting in October, as they go out for inspections, they're gonna start getting these set back up into the food facilities. So what it does is you can scan that QR code, and it will take you to that restaurant's, concession stand, whatever it happens to be. We'll take it to that, facilities inspection report. And you can actually see the last 3 reports. So some folks get 1 a year, 2 a year, 3 a year. So the last 3 will be on there. Some of the other counties, you'll see like an A, B, C that they have. But that's kind of just what happened in that very single day that that inspector was there. So this way we felt like it was a better representation of what's going on. And there will be a license number that is printed on that sticker. So you'll be able to scan that and then type that number right in, and it will pull up that facility. Or you can look up any facility that's out there. The only difference you're gonna see going forward when you pull up that inspection report, and we put one in the packet for you, is now you're gonna see a score on the upper right-hand corner. So an 88, a 98, 100, depending on what they got. And that score starts out at 100, and then it's reduced by however many violations they have. So we've always been able to see the reports. Now you're gonna have there'll be a number up there to give you kind of a better representation of what that means. And all the violations are listed on there, so you can see what's going on. So, any questions on that?
The red ones, the red violations, or
So. Yes. There's a code on there right after the first page, so you'll see if they're in compliance or out of compliance. Were they able to fix it right there on site, or did you have to go back? And then you'll see that IN or an NO or an X, it's what happens to that violation. Or on that part of the inspection.
Reason you want Dan is gonna speak on the recall. Dennis asked me about all the recalls that been in the news lately, so I asked Dan if he would do a presentation on how we handle recalls. We get a lot of recalls from the state and from the feds, so Dan, you can get them.
Sure. My name is Dan Kane. I'm the environmental supervisor. So the FDA and the USDA recall announcements into one of 3 categories. There's class 1, class 2, and class 3. Each one of these categories are based on the level of hazard involved with the product. So just to give you a better idea of what this process is, this morning we actually got a recall. So I printed each one of you just a handout so you can see. It'll make more sense when as I go through this too. Yep.
yay.
So this morning's recall was just a class 1 low priority. So I'm gonna go through the the categories again, just so you know what the differences are. Class 1 recalls are those where dangerous or defective products have or may cause serious health problems or death. Missouri further classifies class 1 into 3 other categories. So Missouri separates them into class one high priority recalls. These are recalled product where the reported, where it's been reported that there's illness or injury to a Missouri citizen. For these, we have to follow up within 2 business days to make sure that there's no more product that's available to the public on the shelves. They also categorize them as class one medium priority recalls. These have been reported to have caused illness or injury, but not in Missouri, so in another state. For these types of recalls, we follow up at the facility within 3 business days. And then the last one is class one low priority recalls. These are where the recalled product has been found to be adulterated by lab testing, or there's a label review that has determined that there's undeclared allergens. So that's the case in the recall that I provided you. So in this recall, it was for lactate milk. And there was trace amounts of almond found in there. So anyone that may have a tree nut allergy could be affected by this product. So just in response to this one today, I forwarded this email to all of the Schnucks. Schnucks was the only one that it had been distributed to. And then for a class one low priority like this, we just follow up with the facility at our next routine inspection. So that could be within the next 4 months. And then we just make sure that there's no product on hand. I'll probably have my staff follow up sooner than that, just to make sure. But this one is a pretty low risk, since it was just trace amounts that we found. So also there's class 2 recalls. These are where the recalled product may cause temporary health problems or pose slight risk of serious nature. For these, follow-up with the distribution sites should occur during routine inspections when distribution information is available. And then the last one that the FDA and USD categorized is a class 3 recall. And these are where products are unlikely to cause any adverse health reactions. So it may be something that's violating the labeling or manufacturing regulations. For these class 3, there's no follow-up that's required. So just in this case, we received the email alert. Within these recall notices, we're provided with product information, what the potential concern is, any specific lot numbers or expiration dates that are going to identify that specific product. They also provide photos of the packaging, just to make it easier to identify the products at the store or the facility when we're pulling the product. And then occasionally we get a distribution list of where it's been sent to. In this case, we were told which grocery store it was sent to.
I'm so sorry. I was just trying to log into Canva. I'm really sorry. I have no idea why I did that. My apologies. Yeah.
So most of the time that the facilities are also given the recall notice. So by the time we go in to check to see if they still have it, it's already been pulled off the shelf and set aside or discarded. The last page that I put in the packet is a follow-up report form. And this is just, this is an effectiveness check, basically to see how effective was the recall notice. I think there's 5 or 6 questions on there that we go through each facility and answer. And just gives us the state a good idea of, did the facility follow up and pull the product on their own? Did we have to pull the product for them when we came through? And they compile that information to see which facilities are complying with the recall. There are certain cases also, this would be in regards to the boar's head listeria linked recall. So in that case, boar's head sent their representatives out to each facility that was distributed to 6 different facilities in Jefferson County. Boar's Head was there before us. They pulled all their product before, and we just had to check to make sure that all of the product was off the shelf. In regards to the Boar's Head recall, I think it's spanned across 18 different states. 57 people were affected by it and became ill, and there was 9 deaths associated with that outbreak. So, in all 6 facilities that we did the follow-up checks on, each one had already had all the items pulled from the shelves, so we didn't have to take any out. And just some numbers so far this year. So we've had 18 class 1 high, medium or low recalls this year. 12 of these recalls required the response within 2 or 3 days, so they're class 1 high or medium. And then so far this year, we've checked 33 facilities for different recalls. Anybody have any questions about the recall process for me?
You said they tell you where they're distributed, right?
Sometimes, can't say every time, yeah, it's very helpful when they do. When they don't, we have to either just go out and check the grocery store or whatever facility it is ourselves. I would say maybe 50% of the time we get a distribution list. Sometimes the distribution list comes maybe a week later, and at that point, we've already been out to the facility to check in.
Yeah, I asked to have a report, which is great, thank you. Cause I didn't know, we haven't talked about this in a long time, and not sure if folks pay attention to recall notices or not. But they should be aware that the recalls can be responded to by the distributed company, by the retailer. But we're kind of a safety net to make sure that everything is taken off the shelf and people are not at risk to purchase food that could be a problem. So, and again, people may think that it's not a big deal, but we had 8 deaths with the Syria outbreak, and there've been really some big ones over the years. So I think it really is an important thing. And really like people to be aware of that.
Website to get information on what's currently being called, the information on it.
I think some of the lead recalls we posted on our website, it's something that we could post more often for recall.
It's more on our socials than versus the website, but that's definitely an opportunity. I'm gonna take a note.
Found that most of the risks are low on classroom health priorities.
It's kind of hit or miss. I would say overall, we probably get more like class 1 low. Some of the class 2 and 3 come through quite a bit too that you don't have to respond to. And we've had
Hamburger comes to mind.
so we've had 18 class 1 high or medium or low recalls this year. So I would say maybe 4 or 5 a month or something like that is what we're seeing. No problem, thanks.
All right, we're moving on to public comment. Do we have any comments from the public? Old business, new building update.
Okay, we'll touch a little bit on this. So at our last meeting that we had with the builder, the contractor, the updates they gave us, the roofing should be completed within the next 3 weeks on that building. The interior wall studs, it should be done by the end of this month, the way they're going. They had a majority of it in just last week, so. I can see them having that done real soon. So you can start seeing the rooms and how it's gonna lay out, and that's why we wanted to wait, even if they get a little bit of drywall, I think it helps show where things will, how it lays out when we do our tour. They are going to start the electrical and plumbing rough ends. Also, they hope to get all this rain, they hope to get the parking lot graded and start pouring the curbs. And that way they can do asphalt at some point. I don't think they're gonna do that anytime soon, but they're gonna get it ready to go. Well, like I said earlier, we're working on a visit, and we'd like to do that on the 3rd. That would be, no, the 2nd. At 3. That's, so that's a Tuesday, Wednesday,
That's what I'm saying.
yes, next Wednesday.
Are we gonna meet over there? Or here?
We can meet over there. There should be room. If you, it's a little rough to drive in there, but we drive down all the time into the site, so if you don't want to pull, if you got a low setting car, want to park up on the road, that's fine too. But, you know, we'll probably just move over there. The way they talk, they shouldn't have workers, there may be a few here and there, but they shouldn't have that. We're putting the finishing touches on our RFP for the monument sign. We're gonna go out for bid on that. It's just gonna be our logo or our name. We're not doing the message board. We've talked about it and felt that we didn't need to do that. So I think Christie has reviewed the RFP on that. We'll be going out for bid soon. Then I've got the financials on the architect and the construction finances there. Anyway, I think you'll see the building next week, and it's coming along really quickly now. It's a long process, but we're getting there.
Thank you for all the work you put into it. I know it's been a huge part of your job. Is it still on schedule?
Yep. I thought there's moving along. We're out of the unknown, is the way they explain it. The rock was the big unknown, and of course, we hit rock. We're just about done with the digging aspect of the project, so everything else, they know they've got the orders going in and things are hitting their date, so I think we should be good.
Thank you. Anything else? Anybody else have questions?
Are you gonna take pictures and post them at some point?
We do, Brian goes over and does that. You can, is it on the?
Yeah, it's on our website. I can pull some up if you want to look at it.
Update on it as well.
Yeah, so there's a page on,
We showed some last.
Yeah, we did.
yeah, there was a video up last time. So it's on the website there. If you, under the About Us, if you go to New Hillsborough facility updates, I put the latest video there and then all of the updated pictures, and you can click on them. Of course, today's gonna make me a liar. I'm gonna make them bigger. So yeah, so then I've got them, all of them are in there. So that was August. I try to do everything by month. So yeah, you can always see those there. And then the videos, all of the videos that we have are also on our YouTube channel. So I just put like the most recent one up there, which is the one that speeds up the process. Oh, actually, I don't think the board has seen that one. Cause that's the one I just worked, sorry. I just worked on that. I just realized I'm talking and this isn't my meeting. Sorry. No, I mean, I can if you'd like, but I just realized this is a new one that I've just put together. Okay. Disclaimer, it is sped up. The site,
The workers are really working fast.
the equipment is not moving that fast. I sped it up.
What was that name?
I do.
That dirt is no, that mound of rock and dirt is no longer there. That was our first, and where it was like. What's even different than that?
Yeah.
It's got lots of-
Take a lot longer to plan it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is probably a good thing.
So the next item on our agenda is closed session. The motion to move into closed session. We have to go to the number 610.0211. 610.0213. 610.0213. Motion, do I have a second? Second. Very much, first, second, and guess we need a roll call.
Okay, Henry,
Yes.
Mr. Gill,
Yes.
Ms. Stone,
Yes.
Mr.
Moving